I'm Evan, I'm Wholesom's National Sustainability Manager, and I've been involved with CO2 concrete through the Wholesome Accelerator program over the last 12 months, and then it's exciting to see this continue post-Accelerate program.
I'm Tanzan from AW Edwards. I'm the Senior Sustainability Coordinator, and I'm very excited to be here today to witness the next slab of CO2 concrete pour.
I think it's a good opportunity to have more environmentally friendly methods of construction, and this carbon concrete, I think it's going a long way to be more carbon neutral in the future.
It looks like it pours just the same as ordinary concrete. The boys are able to work it quite easily. They are using the curing compound as they go as well. It looks like it's going to be a good product going forward.
CO2 concrete is special because concrete by nature is one of the largest emitters of CO2. With CO2 concrete, we not only get to reduce the carbon footprint because it has that carbon capture technology, it helps us achieve our organizational goals because it just fits right into that materiality aspect.
I think the climate crisis is one of the biggest challenges for the construction sector. The sector is hard to abate, so the emissions from cement are unavoidable. When the limestone's heated up, CO2 is released chemically, so it's an unavoidable, hard to abate sector. So we use industrial byproducts like slag and fly ash to lower the impact of the concrete, and then if we can use recycled aggregates as well, we've also reduced the impact of the aggregates and actually started to get circular. We've taken concrete waste from a building and then we're putting it back into concrete, and then we're going around and around again. So ultimately it never goes to waste.
What excites us about CO2 concrete is its ability to provide a greener construction, because as an organization that's what we're aiming for, to achieve a greener construction, and CO2 concrete just helps us hit all of our milestones when it comes to that.
This particular research has been conducted for the last 8 years. It is excited to have the second commercial pour today. We done the first commercial pour last year, 26th of October 2022. Also partnered with Wholesome and AW Edwards, at that time also under the Wholesome Accelerator program. And today we are doing the second demonstration slab, the commercial slabs, and I'm really excited to see this particular slab is pushing the boundary further. We are having a 50% replacement ratio for the recycled aggregate for this particular pour, and I'm looking forward to pushing it further to the market.
CO2 concrete initiative is something that AW Edwards, along with Wholesome and Western Sydney University, are trying to develop further as a regular mainstay on future projects. And that's what we're trying to do today with our pour. It's the second pour in Australia of its type commercially, but the difference between our pour and the first one is we're shooting for a 50% target, which at this stage all looks good for us to achieve.
I have a personal interest of turning waste as resources, but also we like to see the circular perspective as well. The difference between recycling and circular is recycling is you can only go round with one loop. You can recycle the materials, but you cannot recycle it again. But if you do the circular perspective, that means you can recycle it and recycle it again. That's where all those recyclability come from. That's what this particular invention is also considered a circular economy as well. Talking about sustainability, in general, as I mentioned, there are three main elements: is environmental, social, and economical. Theoretically, you should be able to reduce all those costs and carbon emission and also energy perspective. But by saying it, because of the Australian environment and the international environment, they are still at the initial stage. That's why the development is still in a way that is a little bit early. That's why we need a little bit more perspective to build that cost saving or long-term economical perspective for this particular implementation?
We're still at the stages where we're going through and determining how it will sort of best fit in within the construction industry in terms of what applications that are that most appropriate it's used for. In terms of the economic side of it, that's where we're looking at, what economic benefit will be to a user in terms of both their cost from a hard cost perspective, but also from a sustainability point of view and the community benefits around that, and the reuse of aggregate and getting that whole circular sustainability process happening.
I think with the CO2 concrete implementation, we need to probably come up with a standard specification for concrete, for that particular type of concrete, that can be easily adapted by construction companies, whether that be in a pricing capacity or a design capacity. And then from there, the CO2 concrete is then assessed and evaluated, all going well with various engineers. Once they've done their assessment, I think if they're okay with the product, I think most builders looking for a sustainable solution will take that up.
I think it's fair to say that, whether we're talking about research and development, what we're aiming to do overall is to make sure that these new concretes perform as well as traditional concrete. This is absolutely critical to gain credibility, but also to build momentum into these new products. So when a new solution is put on the market and developed, recipe for success is making sure that from a performance perspective, it will perform as well as traditional concrete.
CO2 concrete as an early technology has promise in that for Holcim in terms of if it becomes viable, then it can help in terms of its our scope 3 emissions, as I would believe, in terms of being a sink as offsetting scope 3 emissions from the ingredients of concrete.
The government certainly has a place to play in the uptake of new technologies into industry, because there is a certain risk involved that it won't be economic. And so the government can step in the earlier stages of helping to assist with grants and partnerships with industry, so that we can then go through the technical stages to then prove its economic viability in the real world.
CO2 concrete is a benefit for circular outcome and also a low carbon solution as well. So we've got low carbon concrete already, but we can't do low carbon concrete with recycled ag. So the CO2 concrete allows us to pair the two together.
CO2 concrete is a really exciting new innovation which has come out of Western Sydney University, and it's being led by Vivian Tam. So absolutely fantastic innovation that's really utilising the value of our research infrastructure here in Australia. What's really exciting about this is it takes a circular approach. So we're looking at how we recycle old concrete to make new concrete, but also enrich that concrete with CO2. What's really exciting about concrete as a material is it does have huge capacity to absorb and sequester carbon. So what's great about CO2 concrete is the fact that that absorption capacity is being empowered right at the start. So we're seeing concrete that really takes that atmospheric carbon back in and stores it over the life of the infrastructure. This is really groundbreaking technology, and it's exciting to see where it's going to go.
These are really touching base on two of these pillars, combining circular economy and climate and energy. So what we're doing there is we're saying not only we're saving on extracting virgin material by using recycled material into the product, but also we're contributing to decarbonization. So these two aspects sometimes are not always compatible, and I think there's a lot of work to be done around overall environmental benefits. But this is a very interesting solution where clearly we've got circular economy and decarbonization together in one solution.
When we think about the options that we have towards decarbonisation for concrete, there's a fantastic report that Smartcrete was very pleased to support a couple of years ago called the Decarbonisation Roadmap for Concrete. One of the critical things that's identified there is we really have to demonstrate how we can capture that carbon potential in concrete itself, so that recarbonation potential, and CO2 concrete really demonstrates the capacity. So it's a really exciting new product.